Hello, everybody. Daniel here. Uh, got some time before I can eat, so might as well make a video, right? The topic of the day is going to be how the future is going to be lonely. Something I've noticed is the manner in which everybody gets so overstimulated with digital tech. They got their TikTok, their videos, their games, their this, their that, and they're getting this constant level of stimulation and dopamine drip. And I previously discussed the digital addiction to that regard. The problem is, even when they do get off and they try to talk to somebody, they're already wired out. They're tired, if not just ready for bed at that point. At a basis, they're overstimulated. They're not looking for more stimulation. And this is something that I've seen and I've been guilty of. When somebody come up and talked to me, and I was pretty much done for the day. I just did not have the energy to offer in exchange for what they were doing, and I would just feel overwhelmed when they tried to force it. As technology becomes more and more of a dominant part of our society, humanity is slowly going to be phased out. We'll find less and less time to interact with each other, which at this point in history is already a lot less than what is healthy. And we will try to compensate with this, as we already are, by more digital interaction. Uh, People play the convenience game. They call instead of visit, they text instead of call. Everybody is slowly moving away from the human connection. And because they're so overstimulated by all the digital interactions, they don't have the patience or energy to actually deal with the reality of, humanity itself. We need connection. We're a social species. We need to feel that connection to find our place in it. If we don't have that connection to the world around us, we lose track of where we are. We lose track of ourselves. And this is one possible cause of identity crisis. If you don't know where you're at, how can you know, you don't, we are defined by the world around us, simply put. Yeah, we have our own values, we have our own thoughts, our own perceptions, but a lot of these things are formed by the world around us, our experiences, our observations, and subsequently our values as a consequence. We like what we see here, we don't like what we see there. We value that, we do not value that. These are the basic premises that help to form our personality and our sense of self, where we fit in the world around us. And you look at the consequences of this digital addiction and the digital identity, where we don't have any local interactions. We don't talk to the people around us. We're always glued to a digital, device. There was actually studies done, and per those studies, when you interact with people online, statistically speaking, you have a much higher chance. Yeah, go figure, my phone goes off. You have a much higher chance of dealing with a narcissist, because narcissistic traits tend to get more attention, which tend to create more followers. And because of that attention and followers, they tend to get pushed more notifications. They tend to get, pop up more in YouTube searches and stuff like that. Because the bigger the numbers, the bigger the revenue. So basically, when you go to do searches or look for stuff or social media or any of that stuff, it is far more likely that you're going to come across somebody that has more narcissistic dominant traits than not. And when you define yourself by that surrounding, you innately become more narcissistic yourself. You notice how people, the more selfish, they focus more on convenience than consideration and understanding. This is a big part of why we are losing track of the world around us, ergo losing track of ourselves, and people are struggling with identity crises all over the place. Pick your medium, there's a plethora of options in that regard. They can't keep it simple because that would involve a grounding principle. The basic grounding of mindfulness is, sight, smell, taste, touch, hearing. You focus on your senses, like when you're having an anxiety issue. And that helps to, ground you to where you're at. It pulls you out of your anxiety and pulls you back into your body where it's something you can control, you can move, you can do something. When you take that world around you away and replace it with a digital world, there is no grounding principle. You can't ground into an abstract. It doesn't work. So all these people that double down on developing their digital identity at the exclusion, to the exclusion, I should say, of their personal identity, are setting themselves up for failure. And you wonder why anxiety is such a major issue. Well, that anxiety, it feeds into a cycle. You're overstimulated from digital tech, now you're anxious. Now you really don't have the time, patience, or energy for other people. And you lose that connection a little more. This is why the future is going to be lonely. Because the only time or interaction people are going to have for other people are that of convenience, treating them like assets and exchanges. And then they're going to go back to their digital persona, their digital world, and lose themselves some more. Anyway, just something to consider. You have a good one.